Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, some like it hot. Yo dog, I heard you like surge protectors. My mom, the non-believer. Power cables don't go in your mouth. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Some like it hot. This story is short, but sweet. My IT department benefits from having both a front-facing customer desk as well as a back office for hands and feet. I'm manning the front desk one crisp winter day when an accountant brings in her laptop for support. I greet her as she comes in and she has a noticeable Latin accent, important for later, but her English is excellent, so it's not like I'm having trouble understanding her. She explains that she's having issues with her PC shutting off randomly while she's working. I ask how often and she describes it happening every half hour or so. Unusual but not unheard of. So assuming it's some kind of hardware issue, I start troubleshooting by running diagnostics, but they come back fine. Whatever, I have her log in and try to replicate what she was doing when it last crashed. Time passes and nothing. I'm stumped, everything seems to be working as intended. So we chalk it up to the ghost in the machine being on a smoke break. I send her off with the instructions to give me a call should it start acting up again. Sure enough, about a half an hour later she sends out the SOS. At this point I'm fairly certain there's something wrong with her setup. I get her desk location and let her know not to touch anything because I'm on my way. I get to her office, and when she lets me, I notice the air seems considerably warmer even though the heat is on for the entire building. I just write it off as the cubicles being close to a vent or something and move to put a steadying hand on her desk so I can lean under to take a look at the outlet. Mistake. The cubicle desk is surprisingly hot. I sort of recoil in surprise, which also startled the customer, and bend my knees a bit to try and get another look under the hood. Yep, sure enough, she's got a personal heater on full blast right underneath her setup. I asked her about it. Turns out this lady is from Brazil, and our Midwestern winters are just driving her insane. I explained to her the amount of heat was likely too much for the CPU, and was probably causing the computer to shut down because of it. Trying to be sympathetic, I suggested moving the heater out from underneath the desk for now, and maybe getting some cheap risers to keep the computer above the desktop since she was working with a docking station anyway. She swings by later to let us know that moving the heater seemed to resolve the problem. No word on whether or not she went with the elevated PC suggestion though. Yo dog, I heard you like surge protectors. I work as a sysadmin for my county. I started this job not too long ago and haven't been around to every location, so I may have new stories under my belt before too long. Today's story is about one of my users in an admin position. Today this user called me and alerted me to them having issues with their setup. For most of the county, our users are using a big name brand laptop hooked up to a fancy little dock station with 2 DisplayPort monitors that are also from big name brand. It's actually a sweet setup and allows users to easily work from home because they can just disconnect the laptop and be on their way. The user told me that their laptop would randomly freeze up, the dock would turn off, and their displays would go to sleep. No big deal, I thought. Maybe there's a firmware update that needs to be pushed through and hopefully fix the problem, or we just need to swap a cable out or just restart the machine. Nothing major, I assumed. So I go on a nice brisk walk over there from our department and greet user, who shows me the problem. I note that they had actually described said problem in full detail, yay. I immediately go to restart the machine first. It goes down and comes back up fine, and it seems to be working fine. During this period the user and I are talking about our day, and what we did over the weekend when it suddenly hits the fritz again and wigs out in front of me. At this point it definitely seems to be behaving like an issue with power going to the dock, or the dock itself. I ask her to let me back into her area and where it's plugged into, and she shows me. This is where the horror began. Her dock and monitors were plugged into ye old beige surge protector. For the sake of this, we'll call it $Surge Protector 1. The warm orange light indicating its function was not on, so I traced the cord to a small compartment area under the right side of her desk, behind the drawer. Inside this compartment was another surge protector too. You may already have your hands approaching your face, but there's still more. I noticed there's another multi-pack surge protector, 3, under there too that is also connected to surge protector 2. Surge protector 3's main job was to connect the power from the printer. That's right above it. Yes, I too have no idea why this is needed. The power cord was obviously long enough to connect to surge protector 2. In an effort to undo this mess, I decide to taste surge protector 2's cord and see where the heck that's going. There's lots of shelving in this office where the cables are routed behind. Well, it turns out surge protector 2 is connected to an extension cord. Now, I am by no means an electrical engineer, but not only am I sure that connecting 2 surge protectors together is a bad idea, let alone 3, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to use an extension cord for a surge protector either. Alas, as I am wrapping my head around this, I continue my search for where this journey ends. I end up moving a couple of shelves and find a horrific conclusion. Surge protector 2's extension cord is plugged into another freaking surge protector 4. At this point my feeble brain is trying to piece together this monstrosity of a system, and trying to clean it up to the best of my ability. I remove surge protector 3 from the equation entirely, along with surge protector 4, as the extension cord could easily make it to the outlet that surge protector 4 was connected to. However, due to cord lengths, desk orientation, etc., I was only able to configure it so. Surge protector 1, surge protector 2 extension cord to outlet. This still made me uncomfortable, and I requested the user to notify facilities immediately to get new outlets installed in her office, and to notify me when they do. In the meantime, she said she'd happily work off just her laptop and a charger connected directly to the outlet in the meantime. My mom, the non-believer. Literally just got off the phone with my mom helping her out with this one. My semi-retired mom is working on a Word document that has 2 Excel spreadsheets embedded into it. She needs to email this document to her supervisor, but she's afraid that the Excel sheets didn't embed properly when she sent it, and she's panicking because the document is already late as it is. Because she's semi-retired and mainly uses her smartphone for everything these days instead of her laptop, she's a bit rusty when it comes to Microsoft Office, and Windows for that matter. So, she asked me for help on how to embed Excel sheets into Word. She's already spent quite a bit of time on YouTube looking up how to do this. Although my Office knowledge is a bit rusty myself, I use Google Docs/Slides/Sheets for everything these days. I ask her to send me the files, and she sends me the Word file and 2 Excel files separately. When I open the Word document, I see that there are several charts which are already embedded, as well as 2 hyperlinks at the bottom of the document that link directly to the Excel sheets. I tried to explain to her that the 2 separate Excel files aren't needed, as there is already Excel data embedded in the Word document. She insists that the Excel sheets are still needed, as her supervisors need the ability to edit the data, and that the data won't copy over if she emails just the Word document. I come back by saying that the embedded data is editable by right-clicking the embedded sheet and clicking Edit Data, which opens the data up in Excel as a chart in Microsoft Word, and they can then save the sheets separately, if desired. My mom still doesn't believe me, and is getting more and more stressed out. I finally explained to her that I deleted the separate Excel sheets and renamed the Word document, and the Word document still functioned perfectly, aside from the now broken hyperlinks at the bottom of the document, which aren't needed anyway. After a few more back and forths, with me even offering to email her the now renamed Word document, she finally says, "I believe you." No wonder I have such a high tolerance of users that have both high anxiety and low PC knowledge. My mom has prepared me quite well for my field in that regard, which is one of the many reasons I still love her to death. Power cables don't go in your mouth. I was working for a large cable TV/high-speed internet provider, and got a call from a residential user that had internet issues and a few too many drinks. After a little bit of chatting and verifying information, I was having the guy power cycle his cable modem. He had to lay under his desk to get to the modem for some weird reason? Well, he also took my instructions of power cycling his modem to the extreme to unplug all 3 cables from the back of it, coax, RJ45, and power. Not in that order. I guess he needed a free hand, and out of bad decision making he decided to hold the power cable with his teeth/mouth. After hearing a scream and a thump, he started cursing a lot. Well, he was under his desk, so when his wife came into the room she angrily asked who he was talking to which he said tech support. I guess she didn't see the phone and didn't know what was going on, so assumed she was being cussed at. It turned into a verbal domestic situation, and I disconnected the call shortly after. I watched the modem for a few minutes through the head end, and the power cycle brought it back online after I reprovisioned it. Never heard from him again, and none of the other reps had them that night either. This call stands out in my memories from 15 years ago.